All right, and according to our news here from Times Tabloid, Evernorth CEO, why institutions are buying XRP. So let's bypass all the usual market noise and talk about the real game being played behind closed doors right now. So imagine buying millions of dollars worth of property, locking the front door and never renting out, never living in it, and just letting it collect dust while you wait for the neighborhood property value to go up. In the traditional financial world, that is considered a massive failure. Capital is never supposed to sleep. Yet for years, that is exactly how the world has viewed cryptocurrency, as a digital pet rock that you buy, hide in a cold wallet, and stare at every day hoping it pumps. But a massive video clip just surfaced on X, shared by crypto pundit X Finance Bull right here, featuring Evernorth CEO Asheesh Birla. And what he laid out completely dismantles the old way of thinking about digital assets. We are entering an era where institutional giants are no longer treating XRP like a speculative lottery ticket. They are building a massive machine to put these tokens to work at a scale the market has never seen before. So let's break down exactly what is happening. So let's start with our very first question about why is simply holding XRP no longer the end goal for big money. And in this video clip, which is highlighted by X Finance Bull right here, the Evernorth CEO stated bluntly that folks out there need more to do with their XRP. He explained that accumulation is not the destination. Using the asset is. Large players who are moving into this space aren't looking to day trade or catch a 10% pump. They need institutional grade products that allow them to put this specific asset to work at a massive scale. So as a market observer, this is music to my ears. For a long time, retail investors have been obsessed with the idea of a giant supply shock where institutions just buy and hold XRP off the market. But Birla here is pointing out a much healthier, much more powerful reality. True value doesn't come from an asset sitting completely idle in a vault. It comes from velocity. When massive funds can actively utilize their tokens to generate predictable cash flow, it cements XRP's position in global finance far better than any social media hype ever could. Right? Now, what does a regulated environment mean for the XRP ecosystem? The Evernorth CEO heavily stressed that this massive on-chain activity cannot just happen on any wild west platform. It has to take place within a strictly regulated environment, complete with institutional grade privacy and ironclad compliance. This is why Evernorth is actively building compliant DeFi protocols and tailored products directly on the XRP ledger to bridge the gap between traditional finance and decentralized technology. From my vantage point as a market observer, this focus on compliance and privacy is the absolute secret weapon for the XRP ledger. Wall Street compliance officers don't care about hype. They care about jail time and regulatory fines. By creating a fenced-in, legally safe playground where a bank can deploy millions of dollars without worrying about legal gray areas, the XRP ecosystem is solving the number one problem that keeps big money out of crypto. It's like building a secure private highway for freight trucks instead of forcing them to drive through a chaotic, muddy field. Right? Now, how is Evernorth transforming passive tokens into an active cash machine? To understand how big this operation is, look at how Evernorth Holdings operates. Backed by Ripple as a key partner, they are pursuing a major Nasdaq listing under the ticker XRPN through a merger with Armada Acquisition Corporation 2. They control nearly 50%, 0.5% of the entire total supply of XRP. But instead of sitting on their hands, they are actively lending XRP, providing massive liquidity, and running advanced yield strategies using Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. They are generating massive returns from the asset directly right now, rather than just waiting for price appreciation. So, this strategy completely changes how we measure the strength of the market. When a massive entity controlling 0.5% of the supply treats XRP as a high-yield capital tool, it creates an entirely new baseline for demand. They are essentially turning XRP into a digital utility engine. Instead of a single engine trying to pull a heavy train up a mountain, they are turning every single token into a mini engine that powers global financial liquidity. This gives the asset actual structural weight that can withstand any broader market downturn. So, will trillions of dollars flow into the system once the infrastructure is finished? Asheesh Birla has openly referenced that as this ecosystem matures, we are looking at potential institutional flows numbering in the trillions of dollars. Because institutional capital never sits idle, the demand naturally follows the infrastructure. By simplifying access, introducing compliant lending markets, and creating privacy-preserving tools, the goal is to aggressively expand the entire pie and pull massive traditional capital into the XRP ledger. So my take on this as a market observer is simple. Follow the builders, not the chart patterns. When the CEO of a firm backed by Ripple publicly states that the infrastructure is already being built to handle trillions of dollars in institutional flow, the writing is on the wall. This isn't a theoretical project for 2030. This is active engineering happening right now, this June 2026. The infrastructure dictates the volume, and once those digital pipes are fully connected to the traditional banking world, the sheer volume of capital moving through the ledger will be staggering. Right? Overall, when you step back and look at the bigger picture, XRP has always positioned itself as the premier asset for enterprise and institutional finance. What the Evernorth CEO has revealed takes that narrative to its ultimate conclusion. We are moving past the area of simple cross-border payments and entering the era of institutional, compliance-ready DeFi. Evernorth is building the infrastructure, Ripple is backing the place, and the smart money is establishing its token utility strategies right in front of us. For anyone watching the institutional adoption of digital assets develop in real time, this public confirmation from top leadership is a massive, concrete signal that the foundational shift is officially in motion. So we need to keep our eyes on the utility, stay focused on the infrastructure being built, and ignore the daily noise. And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one. Or you might just as well watch next this recommended video right here.